Hi guys. Beautiful day, another one that God's made. Birds are singing, the sun is out. What more can you ask for? Beautiful, gorgeous. I'm posting the second time this week because I had more time and I was so excited about reading 1 Samuel. And that's where we're going today again. We just finished reading David and Goliath. And now we're going to tell the story of Saul, the newly elected king. So let's get into it. Let me get my glasses first. The old specs out. All right. So we're in 1 Samuel 17. Well, one day Saul told David, "If you'll be brave and fight the Lord's battles for me, I'll let you marry my oldest daughter, Merab." But Saul was really thinking, "I don't want to kill David myself, so I'll let the Philistines do it for me." David answered, "How could I possibly marry your daughter? I'm not very important, and neither is my family." But when the time came for David to marry Saul's daughter, Merab, Saul told her to marry Adriel from the town of Maholah. But Saul had another daughter, and her name was Michal, and Saul found out that she was in love with David. This made Saul very happy, and he thought, "I'll tell David he can marry Michal, but I'll set it up so that the Philistines will kill him." He told David, "I'm going to give you a second chance to marry one of my daughters." Saul ordered his officials to speak to David in private. So they went to David and they said, "Look, the king likes you and all of his officials are loyal to you. Why not ask the king if you can marry his daughter Michal?" "I'm not rich or famous enough to marry Princess Michal," David answered. The officials went back to Saul and told him exactly what David had said. Saul was hoping that the Philistines would kill David, and he told his officials to tell David, "The king doesn't want any silver or gold. He only wants to get even with his enemies. All you have to do is to bring back proof that you have killed 100 Philistines." The officials told David, and David wanted to marry the princess. King Saul had set a time limit, and before it ran out, David and his men left and killed 200 Philistines. He brought back the proof and he showed it to Saul so he could marry Michal. Saul agreed to let David marry Michal, and Saul knew that she loved David, and he also realized that the Lord was helping David. But knowing those things made Saul even more afraid of David, and he was David's enemy for the rest of his life. The Philistine rulers kept coming to fight Israel, but whenever David fought them, he won. He was famous because he won more battles against the Philistines than any of Saul's other officers. Now, the reason why David was saying he wasn't rich, it was a custom of a man then to give the bride's father some silver or gold in order to marry his daughter. And it would take a very large amount to marry the princess, the daughter of the king, right? Well, one day Saul told his son Jonathan and his officers to kill David, but Jonathan liked David a lot. They were like brothers. And he warned David, "My father is trying to have you killed, so be very careful. Hide in a field tomorrow morning and I'll bring him there. Then I'll talk to him about you, and if I find out anything, I'll let you know." Well, the next morning, Jonathan reminded Saul about the many good things David had done for him. And then he said, "Why do you want to kill David? He hasn't done anything to you. He has served in your army, has always done what's best for you. He even risked his life to kill Goliath." The Lord helped Israel win a great victory that day, and it made you happy. Saul agreed, and he promised, "I swear by the living Lord that I won't have David killed." Jonathan called to David and told him what Saul had said. And then he brought David to Saul, and David served in Saul's army just as he had done before. The next time there was a war with the Philistines, David fought hard and forced them to retreat. Well, one night, David was in Saul's home playing the harp for him, because remember, he had that evil spirit. Saul was sitting there holding a spear when an evil spirit from the Lord took control of him. And Saul tried to pin David to the wall with a spear, but David dodged and it stuck in the wall. David ran out of the house and he escaped. Saul sent guards to watch David's house all night and then to kill him in the morning. Michal, David's wife, told him, "If you don't escape tonight, they'll kill you tomorrow, David." She helped David go through a window, climb down to the ground, and as David ran off, Michal put a statue in his bed. She put goat hair on its head and dressed it in some of David's clothes. What a good wife. Well, the next morning, Saul sent guards to arrest David, but Michal told them, "David is sick." Saul sent the guards back and told them, "Get David out of his bed, bring him to me, and I can have him killed. I will." When the guards went in, all they found in the bed was a statue with a goat's hair on its head. "Why have you tricked me this way?" Saul asked Michal. "You helped my enemy get away." She answered, "He said he would kill me if I didn't help him escape." Meanwhile, David went to Samuel at Ramah and told him what Saul had done. Then Samuel and David went to prophet's village and stayed there. So Saul sent a few soldiers to bring David back. They went to Ramah and they found Samuel in charge of a group of prophets who were all prophesying. And then the Spirit of God took control of the soldiers and they started prophesying too. When Saul heard what had happened, he sent another group of soldiers, but they prophesied the same way. He sent a third group of soldiers, but the same thing happened to them. Finally, Saul left for Ramah himself. He went as far as a deep pit at the town of Siku, and he asked, "Where are Samuel and David?" "At prophet's village in Ramah," the people answered. Saul left for Ramah, but as he walked along, the Spirit of God took control of him, and he started prophesying. Then when he reached prophet's village, he stripped off his clothes and he prophesied in front of Samuel. He dropped to the ground and he lay there naked all day and all night. That's how the saying started, "Is Saul now a prophet?" Well, David escaped from prophet's village, and then he ran to see Jonathan and he asked, "Why does your father Saul want to kill me? What have I done wrong?" "My father can't be trying to kill you, David. He never does anything without telling me about it. Why would he hide this from me? It can't be true." "Jonathan, I swear it's true. But your father knows how much you like me, and he didn't want to break your heart. That's why he didn't tell you. I swear by the living Lord and by your own life that I'm the only one step ahead of death." Then Jonathan said, "Tell me what to do, and I'll do it." David answered, "Well, tomorrow is the new moon festival. And that's the first day of the month when the Israelites offer special sacrifices to the Lord, and they have special meals. And I'm supposed to eat dinner with your father, but instead I'll hide in a field until the evening of the next day. If Saul wonders where I am, tell him. David asked me to let him go to his hometown of Bethlehem so he could take part in the sacrifice his family makes there every year. If your father says it's all right, then I'm safe. But if he gets angry, you'll know he wants to harm me. Be kind to me. After all, it was your idea to promise the Lord that we would always be loyal friends. If I've done anything wrong, kill me yourself, but don't hand me over to your father." "Don't worry," Jonathan said. "If I find out that my father wants to kill you, I'll certainly let you know." "How will you do that?" David asked. "Let's go out to this field and I'll tell you," Jonathan answered. Well, when they got there, Jonathan said, "I swear by the Lord God of Israel that 2 days from now, I'll know what my father is planning. Of course, I'll let you know if he's friendly towards you, but if he wants to harm you, I promise to tell you and help you escape. And I ask the Lord to punish me severely if I don't keep my promise. I pray that the Lord will bless you, just as he used to bless my father. And someday the Lord will wipe out all of your enemies. Then, if I'm still alive, please be as kind to me as the Lord has been. But if I'm dead, be kind to my family." Jonathan and David made an agreement that even David's descendants would have to keep. Then Jonathan said, "I pray that the Lord will take revenge on your descendants if they break our promise." Jonathan thought as much of David as he did of himself, so he asked David to promise once more that he would be a loyal friend. After this, Jonathan said, "Tomorrow is a new moon festival, and people will wonder where you are, because your place will be empty. By the day after tomorrow, everyone will think you've been gone a long time. Then go to the place where you hid before and stay beside going away rock. It means the mound. Then go to the place where you hid. I'll shoot 3 arrows at a target off to the side of the rock and send my servant to find the arrows. You'll know if it's safe to come out by what I tell him. If it's safe, I swear by the living Lord that I say, the arrows are on this side of you, pick them up. But if it isn't safe, I'll say to the boy, the arrows are further away. This will mean that the Lord wants you to leave and you must go. But he will always watch us to make sure that we keep the promise we made to each other. So David hid there in the field. During the new moon festival, Saul sat down to eat by the wall, just as he always did. And Jonathan sat across from him, and Abner sat next to him, but David's place was empty. Saul didn't say anything that day because he was thinking, something must have happened to make David unfit to be at the festival. Yes, something must have happened. Okay, sorry here, I'm just reading something down below. The day after the new moon festival, when David's place was still empty, Saul asked Jonathan, why hasn't that son of Jesse come to eat with us? He wasn't here yesterday, and he still isn't here today. Jonathan answered, the reason David hasn't come to eat with you is that he begged me to let him go to Bethlehem. And he said, please let me go. My family is offering a sacrifice, and my brother told me I have to be there. Do me this favor and let me slip away to see my brothers. Well, Saul was furious with Jonathan, and he yelled, you're no son of mine, David. You traitor. I know you've chosen to be loyal to that son of Jesse. Sorry, to Jonathan he said this. You should be ashamed of yourself. And your own mother should be ashamed that you were even ever born. You'll never be safe, and your kingdom will be in danger as long as that son of Jesse is alive. Turn him over to me now. He deserves to die. Why do you want to kill David? Jonathan asked. What has he done? Saul threw his spear at Jonathan and tried to kill him, his own son. Then Jonathan was sure that his father really did want to kill David. Jonathan was angry that his father had insulted David so terribly. He got up and he left the table, and he didn't eat anything all that day. I guess not. If my father tried to kill me, I'd be pretty upset too. In the morning, Jonathan went out to the field to meet David, and he took a servant boy along and told him, when I shoot the arrows, you run and find them for me. Well, the boy started running, and Jonathan shot an arrow so that it would go beyond him. And when the boy got near the place where the arrow had landed, Jonathan shouted, isn't the arrow on past you? Jonathan shouted to him again, hurry up, don't stop. Got the helicopters coming over again. Well, the boy picked up the arrows and brought them back to Jonathan, but he had no idea about what was going on. Only Jonathan and David knew, and Jonathan gave his weapons to the boy, and he told him, take these back into town. After the boy had gone, David got up from beside the mound and bowed very low 3 times. Then he and Jonathan kissed each other, and they cried, but David cried louder. And Jonathan said, take care of yourself, David, and remember, we each have asked the Lord to watch and make sure that we and our descendants keep our promise forever. David left, and Jonathan went back to town. David went to see Amalek, a priest who lived in the town of Nob. Amalek was trembling with fear as he came out to meet David. Why are you alone? Amalek asked. Why isn't anyone else with you? I'm on a mission for King Saul, David answered. He ordered me not to tell anyone what the mission is all about, so I had my soldiers stay somewhere else. Do you have any food you can give me? Could you spare 5 loaves of bread? The only bread I have is the sacred bread, the priest told David. You can have it if your soldiers didn't sleep with women last night. Of course we didn't sleep with women, David answered. I never let my men do that when we're on a mission. They have to be acceptable to worship God, even when we're on a regular mission, and today we're on a special mission. The only bread the priest had was the sacred bread that he had taken from the place of worship after putting out the fresh loaves, so he gave it to David. It so happened that one of Saul's officers was there worshiping the Lord that day, and his name was Doeg the Edomite, and he was the strongest of Saul's shepherds. David asked Amalek, "Do you have a spear or a sword? I had to leave so quickly on this mission for the king that I didn't bring along my sword or any other weapons." The priest answered, "The only sword here is the one that belonged to Goliath the Philistine, and you were the one who killed him in the Elah Valley, and so you can take his sword if you want to. It's wrapped in a cloth behind the statue." "Well, that's the best sword there is," David said. "I'll take it." David kept on running from Saul that day until he came to Gath, where he met with King Achish. The officers of King Achish were also there, and they asked Achish, "Isn't David a king back in his own country? Don't the Israelites dance and sing, 'Saul has killed 1,000 enemies. David has killed 10,000 enemies.'" David thought about what they were saying, and it made him afraid of Achish. So right there in front of everyone, he pretended to be insane. He acted confused and scratched up the doors of the town gate while drooling in his beard. Hang on, I'm just going to get a drink of water here. 1 second. "Well, look at him," Achish said to his officers. "You can see he's crazy. Why did you bring him to me? I have enough crazy people without your bringing another one here. Keep him away from my palace." When David escaped from the town of Gath, he went to Adullam cave, and his brothers and the rest of his family found out where he was, and they followed him there. Nope, nothing written about Adullam cave here. A lot of other people joined him too, and some were in trouble, others were angry or in debt, and David was soon the leader of 400 men. David left Adullam cave and went to the town of Mizpah in Moab, where he talked with the king of Moab. "Please," David said, "let my father and mother stay with you until I find out what God will do with me." So he brought his parents to the king of Moab, and they stayed with him while David was in hiding. One day, the prophet Gad told David, "Don't stay here, go back to Judah." David then left, and he went to Hereth Forest. Well, Saul was sitting under a small tree on top of the hill at Gilboa when he heard that David and his men had been seen. Saul was holding his spear, and his officers were standing in front of them, and he told them, "Listen to me. You belong to the Benjamin tribe, so if that son of Jesse, aka David, ever becomes king, he won't give you fields or vineyards. He won't make you officers in charge of thousands or hundreds as I have done. But you're all plotting against me. Not one of you told me that my own son Jonathan had made an agreement with him. Not one of you cared enough to tell me that Jonathan had helped one of my officers rebel. Now that son of Jesse is trying to ambush me." Doeg the Edomite was standing with the other officers, and he spoke up. "When I was in the town of Nob, I saw that son of Jesse. He was visiting the priest Amalek, the son of Atib. Amalek talked to the Lord for him, and then gave him food and the sword that had belonged to Goliath the Philistine." Saul sent a message to Amalek and his whole family of priests at Nob, ordering them to come to him. And when they came, Saul told them, "Listen to me, you son of Abtub." "Certainly, your majesty," Amalek answered. Saul demanded, "Why did you plot against me with that son of Jesse? You helped him rebel against me by giving him food and a sword, and by talking with God for me. Now he's trying to ambush me." "Your majesty, none of your officers is more loyal than David," Amalek replied. "He's your son-in-law and the captain of your bodyguard. Everyone in your family respects him. This isn't the first time I've talked with God for David, and this never made you angry before. Please don't accuse me or my family like this. I have no idea what's going on." "Amalek," Saul said, "you and your whole family are going to die." Saul shouted to his bodyguards, "These priests of the Lord helped David. They knew he was running away, but they didn't tell me. Kill them." But the king's officers would not attack the priests of the Lord. Saul turned to Doeg, who was from Edom, and said, "Kill the priests." On that same day, Doeg killed 85 priests. Then he attacked the town of Nob, where the priests had lived, and he killed everyone there, the men, women, children, babies. He even killed their cattle, donkeys, and sheep. Wow. But Amalek's son, Abiathar, was the only one who escaped. He ran to David and he told him, "Saul has murdered the priests at Nob." David answered, "That day when I saw Doeg, I knew you would tell Saul, 'Your family died because of me. Stay here.' Isn't the same person trying to kill both of us? Don't worry, you'll be safe here with me." Well, one day some people told David the Philistines keep attacking the town of Keilah and stealing grain from the threshing place. David asked the Lord, "Should I attack these Philistines?" "Yes," the Lord answered, "attack them and rescue Keilah." But David's men said, "Look, even here in Judah, we're afraid of the Philistines. We will be terrified if we try to fight them at Keilah." David asked the Lord about it again. "Leave right now," the Lord answered. "I will give you victory over the Philistines at Keilah." David and his men went there and fiercely attacked the Philistines. They killed many of them. Then they led away their cattle and rescued the people of Keilah. Meanwhile, Saul heard that David was in Keilah. "God has let me catch David," Saul said. "David is trapped inside a walled town where the gates can be locked." Saul decided to go there, surround that town, in order to trap David and his men. He sent messengers who told the towns and the villages, "Send men to serve in Saul's army." By this time, Abiathar had joined David in Keilah and had brought along everything he needed to get answers from God. David heard about Saul's plan to capture him, and he told Abiathar, "Let's ask God what we should do." David prayed, "Lord God of Israel, I was told that Saul is planning to come here. What should I do? Suppose he threatens to destroy the town because of me. Would the leaders of Keilah turn me over to Saul, or is he really coming? Please tell me, Lord." "Yes, he will come," the Lord answered. David asked, "Would the leaders of Keilah hand me over, my soldiers, to Saul?" "Yes, they would," the Lord answered. David and his 600 men got out of there fast, and they started moving from place to place. Saul heard that David had left Keilah, and he decided not to go after him. David stayed in hideouts in the hill country of Ziph Desert, and Saul kept searching, but God never let Saul catch him. He protected David. One time, David was at Horesh in Ziph Desert, and he was afraid because Saul had come to the area to kill him. But Jonathan went to see David, and God helped him encourage David. "Don't be afraid," Jonathan said. "My father Saul will never get his hands on you. In fact, you're going to be the next king of Israel, and I'll be your highest official. Even my father knows it's true." They both promised the Lord that they would always be loyal to each other. And then Jonathan went home, but David stayed at Horesh. Well, some people from the town of Ziph went to Saul at Gilboa and said, "Your Majesty, David has a hideout not far from us. It's near Horesh, somewhere on Mount Hashlah, south of Jeshimon. If you come, we will catch him." Saul told them, "You've done me a big favor, and I pray that the Lord will bless you. Now please do just a little more for me. Find out exactly where David is, as well as where he goes and who has seen him there. I've been told that he's very tricky. Find out where all his hiding places are and come back when you're sure. Then I'll go with you. If he is still in the area or anywhere along the clans of Judah, I'll find him." The people from Ziph went back ahead of Saul, and they found out that David and his men were still south of Jeshimon in the Maon Desert. Saul and his family set out to find David, but David heard that Saul was coming, and he went to a place called the Rock, one of his hideouts in Maon Valley. Maon Desert, sorry. Saul found out where David was and started closing in on him. Saul was going around a hill on one side, and David and his men were on the other side trying to get away. Saul and his soldiers were just about to capture David and his men when a messenger came to Saul and said, "Come quickly, the Philistines are attacking Israel and taking everything." Saul stopped going after David and went back to fight the Philistines, and that's why the place is called Escape Rock. I love the different names that they use. It's interesting. David left and he went to live in the hideouts at En Gedi. Well, let's leave it there, and next time we'll start on verse 24, and carry on. The Lord is so good, isn't he? He's a good God. He really is a good God. I just want to do a little bit of a prayer right now. So for all of you watching out there. So Father, I just pray for the people watching right now. I pray for their health. I pray for their relationships. I pray for their finances. I pray that you would help them endure the days to come, because surely these days are not good in the world and getting worse. So I ask, Father, that you would help all these people turn their eyes towards you and not towards men, because our help doesn't come from men. It comes from you and you alone. Lord, give us strength in these days and help us cope with what's ahead. I ask all this in your holy name. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, more helicopters. This is a busy helicopter place. Well, guys, see you next week. Have a good one. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the days. God bless you.